CT. Welcome to the live show that is always for you, the people. It is the Dukect Lounge, here live on TalkShoe.com. If you're not listening to me live, how dare you? That means you're probably listening on my YouTube, Blip, ScrewAttack, That Guy with Glasses forums, RVT, community review forums, which, by the way, a ton of people got a ton of hits on them, so thank you so much for all that good stuff, RVT, community reviews forum, people like my stuff, so I am so happy for you guys who are listening to me, DCT, regardless of live or previously recorded. All right, whatever. Now, let's get into some news, people. There's some interesting news that's happening in the WWE. First things first, is something, there's been very interesting stuff going on here, and it could be wrong. I've looked at some news and notes, and interesting stuff on there. It's basically about Dolph Ziggler. Because remember Dolph Ziggler. Remember him, the guy who was so, people love Dolph Ziggler. The guy who won Money in the Bank last year, hanged out with AJ and Big E Lee for, whatever reason, and then lost a ton of matches, won the world title, then lost matches again, got concussion, rested out for a whole month, then lost the title to the newly aggressive Alberto Del Rio. Remember him? And now he's just floating around in a pointless void. Remember him? Remember that? Because, quite honestly, the WWE is, they're not treating it. They are basically saying, Dolph Ziggler, he's a good wrestler, but because they don't believe that he's a guy who can ever draw money. And basically, they demoralized, and he's pretty much demoralized at the same time because it doesn't take so that perspective to see how his stock has dropped or what have you. And to me, this is what happens. You book a character like Ziggler to be this horrible. I mean, terrible. Not only Ziggler, but Ryback, for example. Ryback. Remember him? Everybody might like him or dislike him, but to me, he was the fast track to be a main eventer. He was like to be something interesting. Instead, you have him basically being a patsy, another plot point for the whole CM Punk feud thing. And I honestly, just like they're trying to rebuild him, and good Lord, they're trying. I mean, they're trying their best. They're so trying for their best, even though when I look at the Raw ratings for last week, not this week, for last week's Raw, Ryback's segment with Paul Heyman, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It lost over 120,000 viewers. The Paul Heyman Ryback promo lost 120,000 viewers. And you know what? Ryback, a.k.a. Ryan Reeves, he didn't deserve this. And I know some people don't like Ryback, his style, or his feed me more chance, or what have you, his setup, and everything else. But you know what? No wrestler deserves to be put in the main event and then just completely, utterly dismantled like that. Sure, he has a new bully gimmick or what have you, but honestly, to where it got there, to the way Ryback got there, it's downright just, it blows my mind how incompetent or malicious, which version is better, you want to see WWE creative or uncreative, as most people like to call it, on these like superstars. On these superstars where they book so badly and book so terribly in the WWE, it's any wonder why there's no real main eventers, no real people to stand out and say, hey, there's that guy. And trust me, as much as I love Daniel Bryan, he's only one guy, and I don't think he's going to actually be, well, as a huge draw for the WWE. You have SummerSlam, and then you have 9 champions, or, regardless of the people claiming their refunds money. I mean, that's 2 pay-per-views. I mean, I don't want to blame all him, but to me, it's the booking. And I think people are getting a little sick of the whole evil boss storyline as well. I think kind of, mixed with that. But I think my point still stands is that the WWE creative has made this. They have made basically superstars who are main event ready, but they get the shaft every time they get close to or up to the main event. They get the shaft, and they just fight with mid-carders all the damn time, but not even getting the heat up again. I mean, look at what happened in the Nexus. That should have been that should have been Wade Barrett's moment. Instead, he's just been floating around having the Intercontinental Championship multiple times, and it went off like a fart in the wind. It's downright just disgusting how the WWE takes these stars and they don't know what to do with them. And don't get me started on the mid-card, because there are so many directionless superstars in there, it's not even funny. Kofi Kingston, Wade Barrett, 3MB, Drew McIntyre, because I'm still pissed off at Drew McIntyre not getting as much love as he used to. It pisses me off. It pisses me off that someone like Drew McIntyre, who has talent, is stuck with Keith Slater and Jinder Mahal. It's just, I don't know, because I see these guys who actually have talent, who actually have some type of, some type of future. If they were booked with competence and what have you, get the crowd really invested in them, cheering, booing, or what have you, instead of indifference, we won't be in this situation. And, and speaking of very interesting things on the Raw ratings or what have you, guess what happened to the Total Divas segment with the whole Total Divas war against the True Divas, what have you? Because last week you had Naomi Cameron and Brie Bella taking on Oksana, Alicia Fox, and Layla. Lost over 1 million viewers. Gone. Just gone. There are no more. They just left. 1 million viewers gone. That is just amazing. I mean, seriously, amazing. How in the world can that happen? I am just amazed by that. It's just like, wow. Just, wow. That's just amazing. And not only that, Total Divas, the ratings of Total Divas, Total Divas have gone to the crapper as well. The last 2 episodes. And if I look at these entertainment boxes, that they don't do well with without a strong lead-in. This show, the show tanks. It goes from 1.6 rating to a 1.3. I mean, the last ratings, they started slowly going down. I mean, heck, even scratch that. Even when they had the pay-per-views and such, they still had a huge rating. They got 1.56 like during the SummerSlam. SummerSlam on pay-per-view. Let me just check this one more time. Also, Total Divas news: Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan have gotten engaged. So that's going to come. It's going to basically be a part of the show. But anyway, Total Divas took a hit, a major hit, according to BleacherReport.com. Right here, Bleacher Report. You have Total Divas, just the Total Divas ratings. They take a hit, took a major hit in the major hit ratings. According to TV by the numbers, it took a really big hit. Total Divas went basically from 1.52 million viewers to a 1.09. It was a total drop. It was a total drop, and it just really just shows that, again, the Divas division, there's not much crossover. And it just proves that it wasn't Total Divas that put the audience. It was basically the, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, what have you. There weren't any, it's not, Total Divas, no one really cares about Total Divas. Nobody cares about it. And and eventually it will fade away with another, it will go into the big box of WWE failures after maybe next year. It will go away, and it will be a part of that big box of failures with the XFL, the bodybuilding league, WWF New York, that restaurant in New York. And soon to come, it will be WWE, the WWE Network. I think that's there because they know the WWE Network is going to fail regardless, because no one's really going on. No one's going to really buy a 24/7 wrestling channel. Maybe they would have done that back in the 1999 or 2000, but they ain't doing that. So I'm saying WWE Divas looking like it's going to be a big failure, and it's sad because, well, looks like it's going to be it looks like it's going to be a very, not very interesting, but just a very, very interesting, it's going to be not very interesting, but to me it looks like the WWE are going through some rough patches. If Total Divas fails, which I think it will, not only about an AJ Lee's point, which that will make her a face, even though she's already being cheered as a face, but she's a heel, and then getting belittled by Stephanie McMahon, taking all her heat. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the WWE is going to be doing if Total Diva just eventually the E-Network's going to be like, yeah, we're not renewing this for the next season. This show is BS. Goodbye. See you bye. I just wonder what's going to happen to WWE when they're going to take that loss. That's going to be really interesting. Anyway, we're taking a little break here. Next up after this, we're going to be talking some TNA, Total Non-Stop Action. And all the crazy news that's coming out there. Is TNA really DOA, or is just internet hype again? We'll be taking a look at it right after this. This is Duke CT here on the Duke CT Lounge. Thank you so much for listening to me, Duke CT. We'll be right back right after this.
A couple of grinders trying to find our way out and put this darkness behind us. And underground is my oration, sound integration. But situation is we're surrounded by light negation. It's black as pitch cause we're trapped by our violent souls. In a deep mind where deep rhymes won't keep my self-control. Too many foes, we feel snake bit and we won't take it. Enemies need their face hit, we going ape shit.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by thy own mind.
Shoot through these tunnels and keep it moving, no knuckle dragging. It's like a jungle, etc. Keep zigging and zagging. These lizards ready to fire. The military.
And we are back live here on the Dukect Lounge. Phone number to connect to me, Dukect, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. The call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. All right. Total nonstop action. Man, what a week. What a week. Now, I did not see the whole, I did not see the entire Impact Wrestling show last night. I didn't see that week. But, I heard it was actually pretty good. There was some good stuff there. But I did like the last promo bit with Dixie Carter and everything. It looked very interesting. Even though I'm getting a little tired of work shoot stuff myself, it looks interesting. And I rewatched it. There were some problems there. Dixie did stumble on mine, but yet she's showing a lot more personality than it actually came off a lot better than anything else. So basically, I think this is an interesting twist. But yeah, some people are whatever. Oh, we have a guest here, Louis B. But computer maybe just peeked in and left. Oh well, but those are the fates of people who go online and have live podcasts. People want to come and they go. But hey, don't be scared. You can't call or anything else. There's always that chat room, my friends. There's always a chat room. Okay, back to the point. It's just, there is a lot of problems with TNA at the moment. And it started off, well, you didn't sign really the talent. Bobby Roode was a last-minute signing. Devon Wild TV champion wasn't signed. You had Doc, who was dropped when he was supposedly signed, what have you, during this big Aces and Eights storyline. And you have Mickey James leaving. You have a lot of the gut check people. They're leaving. They left. Then you have Mickey James and then Mr. Anderson leaving. It's really, really, really not looking good. And supposedly you have Eric Bischoff as the head of creative. Yeah, it doesn't seem good. And it does not seem a real positive movement for TNA. And I was really behind this company. And I'm really trying to look at the positive stuff. But it just seems that they're meandering. And I just really hope they get through this rough patch. And honestly, all companies go through rough patches. And they're going through a lot of budget cuts. And I think they're going over to supposedly they're going to pick another place for their own permanent holding ground because they can't afford to be on the road so much, which is a shame because I really wish that the whole thing worked out well because I loved the fact they went on the road and the shows were so much better when they went on the road instead of just staying in the lifeless Impact Zone. In fact, when they did go on the road when they were still in their home base in Impact Zone, it was like, oh my goodness, the show was a lot better. Even the badly booked stuff felt a lot better. But when they went to the Impact Zone, it just feels like it was a negative. It drawed the show back. I mean, like you go from UK tour to take the Impact Zone, you're like, oh my God, this show is terrible. It makes everything seem bland. Even the good stuff feels like a massive drawback. It makes everything to a negative. It just drags the show down to its level, and no one really liked it. And I loved the fact they were going on the road full time. I loved it, but it seems to me they They just a lot. They took too much. They bit more off in the total nonstop action, bit more than they can chew, and now they're paying for it. They're going to have to pay for it, and it's going to be they have to take these budget cuts. And I'm hopeful after this whole thing comes out, TNA will come out the other side, because there's a lot of things that could have killed this company. But I still hope. I have hope that TNA will get back on its feet. And I don't think this is the end of the company. I don't think this is the end of Total Nonstop Action. I think this is just going to be a bit of it's just a transitioning period, and transitioning periods are always painful. And you can say the same thing with the WWE. It's a transitional period. And transitional periods are, most of them often or not, are very painful. We're sports teams, you know. Sometimes you got to suck for a while and suck. And it's going to be painful, but you have a good, then after that you come out the other side a lot stronger, wiser, and you have a better team around you to accomplish your goals. And I think that's what TNA and, for a lesser extent, WWE is going through, a transitional phase. And then hopefully after the transitional phase, we'll have this thing could actually come off, and they'll be like, yeah, they went through rough patches, but TNA and WWE are looking right. Because in the end, I want good wrestling, and I'm hopeful after all this stuff, after the budgeting cuts, they start looking at the new talent. They start getting bigger and better talent. I think they get some really good female talent, knockouts. And look at the spoilers on TNA. It looks really good. Like some of the knockouts they might have some new knockout that I really am hopeful for, that they might do something with. There's a lot of positive things in this company that, people seem to forget. But I think you've just got to just not be as, oh, my God, the world's coming to an end. I mean, we have to have a bit more of, patience, what have you. And it just seems like there's nothing that, it seems like it might be dark, like, the Dark Knight, that car, aka Harvey Dent says darkness is just before dawn, and dawn is coming. So that's what we do. This is the dark parts, and I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that TNA gets off the other side, because I do not want to have a WWE monopoly. Because honestly, and if TNA goes out of business, people might say that's a good thing. It won't be a good thing, because we'll have WWE a monopoly, and trust me, I do not want to have a straight monopoly again. It is something that it seems like we've forgotten about that. Remember all those years when WWE seemed to suck and they didn't even give a damn about improving or anything else? So, yeah, I mean, you want to go back to those days? Want to go back to 2009 when it was completely, utterly garbage? Yeah, I mean, trust me, it might be good now, but remember, once upon a time, TNA was looking good. Then 2011, WWE's doing good. It's phases. 2013, WWE is doing semi-good. TNA's sucking. And we never really had a good year with both companies yet. But hopefully by 2014, they get through the transitional period. They get some new people on the head of creative, all that stuff. I still want Matt Quackenbush. Someone get him. I think Mike Quackenbush in TNA Creative, I think he would do some good stuff. Pushing that thing out there. We should be more positive and try to be more correct. Again, I don't want someone to step on, TNA's grave, because remember, just because you want to say, oh, yes, let's get rid of it, but in the end, what are you going to replace it with? Who's going to be the guys to step up? And I just don't want anything else like that happening again. All right. Anyway, this is Dukect Lounge, people. Damn, I keep finding things to be really negative. I can't find anything in a positive note. Okay, screw it. I'm going to say this. I always said this once before. I'll say it again. Congratulations to both, to Daniel Bryan And let's see, one of the Bellators, or which was won it? Let's see. It is, see, which ones was it? It's, God, I am such a... It is, yes, Total Divas, one of the Total Divas. Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan getting hooked, getting engaged, they're going to tie the knot. I can't wait, and that's going to be awesome. I am proud of both of them. I hope they have many years of happiness together. See, I did have something positive to go out on. Both congratulations to both Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan, a.k.a. Bryan Danielson, whatever he wants to call himself. Anyway, this is Duke CT. Anyway, this is Duke CT here. Peace and love. Thank you so much for listening to me, Duke CT Live, here on the Duke CT Lounge. We'll be back next week here live on the Duke CT Lounge, talking, well, hopefully better news and hopefully more positive stuff for TNA, NWE, and some real video game news or what have you. So anyway, we're going to try to look for some positive news. Anyway, I hope you guys like the show and all that good stuff, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.